So on June 1st and 2nd, I'm going to be teaching a class called Mastering Schedule E for Real Estate Activities. Now, of course, we all know Schedule E is used for all kinds of things. This class is going to focus specifically on the rental activities that are reported on Schedule E. So, like everything else in tax world, rentals have gotten a lot more complicated. We always had to deal with normal rentals, vacation homes with occasional rent. But now we have these weird Airbnb situations as well. People are renting out a property on a short-term basis, or even renting out a room in their homes. I know sometimes this is called house hacking because we have cool new terms for everything. So what I'm trying to do in this class is to identify the different types of rentals that we might encounter, how to tell the difference between them, how to recognize what type of situation you're dealing with, and then we'll go over the tax treatment of each of the different types. Now, of course, we'll talk about some rental basics, different types of expenses, improvements versus repairs, how to figure out the basis of the rental property, which sometimes isn't immediately obvious, which expenses on the closing statement are deductible, which get added to basis, which are just lost, depreciation, Section 179 versus bonus. And then also, when does a rental activity become active income? When does it rise to the level of a trade or business rather than being passive? We'll also get into some, I'll just say, weirder situations, how to handle expenses paid out when your property is vacant, how to handle it if you're renting a home office to your employer. That does happen. And what about not-for-profit rentals? How do we know when a rental is technically, according to the IRS, not-for-profit? There are also self-rentals and, wait for it, the self-rental trap. Doesn't that sound terrifying, the self-rental trap? I think this webinar would be a very good experience for almost any tax preparer, because sooner or later, we all have to deal with this rental stuff. Even if we don't specialize in it, eventually you're going to have a new client with an old rental, or an old client with a new rental, or just any client who's just asking questions about what would happen if they rented out a room in their home. We have to be prepared to answer the questions. And of course, as always, we'll have a subject matter expert standing by to answer your questions as they come up. So I'm really looking forward to June 1st or 2nd, and I very much hope to see you there.